Hi, welcome to Engineering Services TAFE Digital. So this video is just to talk briefly about how to help you get through your studies. So we're going to talk about a document called the Student Pathway, something called the Training Plan, and distinguish between this training plan and the development plan, and the calendar. Okay, so you're obviously studying by distance. You need to be self-motivated, you need to plan your studies, and you need to have schedules to help you go through the course. One of the first things you'll notice when you get into the course is you'll find that there is this document called the Student Pathway. Now this one we're looking at now is for the Career Start course. It has at the top Certificate 2, Electric Technology Career Start. It has the course code UEE22011. It's version 3. And it tells you that the units in the course are given in a sequence. So a course is made up of units, and all the units in the Electric Technology Training Package UE11, which is what the course codes come from, start with UEE, NEE, and then as you can see from these units in this line here, they end with E038B or D101A. So often we'll just refer to them by these last 5 characters. Progression. So units are given in blocks of units. Could be 2 units in a block, could be 3, possibly 4, possibly 1. And you progress from the start of the course to the end of the course. Now, some units have a requirement to do practical skill sessions, and to do these at Mandurah College in Sydney. And so in terms of progression, you see that you need to do block A, first 2 units. The external block, which is first aid, of course you do need to get a first aid certificate. The current one at the moment is HLT AID 003, provide first aid, and you can do that at an external provider or at TAFE, but it's not included in the course. And then you move to block B, tender skills, block 1, block C, block 2 and block D. Now, for the Career Start course, there are 4 units that have a skills assessment requirement. And just scroll a bit further. So what we're looking at now, we look at the unit code. So we start with 11 units in this column here, unit code, from 38B all the way down to 148A. It has the title, tells you what the unit is. And these are in blocks A, B, C and D, and in sequence numbers 1 to 11. Now the suggested schedule is from week 1, and you can continue through the course until week 47 as a suggested end date. You'd have 12 months to complete the course, so with this kind of schedule you can complete in 48 weeks, for 47 weeks. This student pathway also tells you whether it's a core unit or an elective unit. As we see here, 38B, participate in development and follow a personal competency development plan, is in elective group A and is with 20 points. D101 is B with 20 points. E101A is a core unit and it's with 20 points. And the sum of points in this course, what we deliver, is 360 points. And scroll to the last page of the development plan. You'll see that this is from the training package. These are the requirements and the rules for completing the course. Again, we have the core and elective, minimum and maximum if indicated in our schema here. And let's have a look at the electronics. So it's again similar, it's all laid out in a similar fashion. Now I just want to come over to this side and focus on the skills assessments. Now for the Career Start skills assessments, we again had a progression of week 1 and week 26. Let's just go back to the Career Start. Again at week 26, expected to come to the first skills block, which would take about 2 days, and the second block after 39 weeks, which would take 3 days. So it is possible for the Career Start course to complete all necessary tasks in one 5-day week. Sometimes there is a public holiday, in which case you get a short week, and in any case you can't. However, the electronics course, although it has 10 units, it has more skills assessments. So as we see here, again after 26 weeks, 2 days, it's the same. Again at 39 weeks, you would come to the second skills block, which will take 4.5 days. So you can't squeeze them into one full 5-day week. So you have to come to at least 2 blocks in Sydney. And some points here is 380 points, slightly higher for electronics. Again, similar towards the bottom, we have on the last page the training package rules for the electronics course. For Certificate 3, it's laid out again similar. It's a more complicated course. It's a 3 to 4 year course, typically done under apprenticeship, but you can be a trade assistant at this time. Progression, again, it's directed in training phase or year indicated. It's not a calendar year, it's just a phase of year of progression, and that goes up for 4 training phases or 4 years. Again, you need the external block, which is the first aid certificate, and training phase 1 incorporates what typically is known as your first year, which is a little bit different to the Career Start course. We see that instead of indicating progress in weeks, we're now indicating progress in months. So after that 9 months, you'd come to your first skills block. After 12 months, you'd come to your second, and that would indicate the end of phase 1, start of phase 2. Phase 2 is short in terms of number of units. The complexity of units themselves increases. You would be expected to come to your third block after about 18 months and your fourth block after 27 months, and then that would be the end of phase 2, start of phase 3. Now you just have one skills block in after about 39 months in phase 3. Now just bear in mind that this is the minimum number of skills blocks you need to attend. So you need to have your first aid certificate, you need to complete all theory work before you come to a skills block, and so it's more likely you come to more than 5 skills blocks. And lastly, the capstone. The capstone is the final unit in the course when you present all your workplace evidence and do a capstone theory and practical exam. And so that's 1,060 points delivered. And for the training package is indicated here, still just the 2 groups, A and B, and our schema there. Okay, so that's the student pathway documents for those 3 courses. We won't look at the diploma course at the moment. Now, the training plan. The training plan is available to all Certificate 2 and Diploma students, but not Certificate 3 if you're an apprentice. So anybody on a traineeship or an apprentice has a different training plan generated from State Training Services as part of their contract, and currently it's not available. So what is the training plan? So when you go into the OLS, you will see on the My Training Plan screen, in fact, it gets developed under My Courses and Units, where you have to confirm that you, to trigger the training plan to be released, you will have to confirm on the page here, and that'll release that, and then the screen changes to something like this. Now, what does it look like in practice? Well, it actually is a PDF, and this is a copy I've made up from the PDF. Screenshot it, obviously change the name and details. It indicates your student details, your enrollment dates, the course you're in, other important information. Now, it goes a bit further than the student pathway. It indicates all the learning activities or assignments in each unit that you're enrolled in the courses, and it will produce a due date based on when you are enrolled and how you're progressing through the course. And so this one is for the Career Start course, so as we're scrolling through, you should see 11 units, and there we go, 11 units, last unit's E148A. And for this student, his final due date is on the 6th of March 2019. And just a bit of supplementary information towards the end and support. So that's the training plan. So the training plan is also linked in with something called the calendar. So this is embedded onto the LLS, so that's one of its great strengths, and it will indicate where you are up to in your studies in terms of progress, and so it gives you red markers on the calendar, so it's very easy to use in that sense, and sometimes even green markers or things. So there's just a couple of examples. The calendar legends there. Now we have our own spreadsheet called development plan, which we'll go into more detail in several other videos, but just as a quick overview, our development plan is a spreadsheet, and the new version looks something like this. It's similar to old versions in style, but what this will do, it will you need to put your details of your course in, and it will capture your RPL. It'll also allow you to capture the progress you're making through the course, and then you'll be able to apply for more units now with this new version of the development plan. And the development plan itself is this, so it's like the training plan in terms of capturing all the units, capturing dates, due dates for schedule. It'll also now summarize your progress easily in a fashion that's easy to read, and you can then also apply for skills assessments in this new development plan as well. So it's different than the training. The training plan is advantages embedded into the OLS, but is not maybe so user friendly, easy to adjust or to change. Whereas your development plan is personalized for you by you, and it will adjust based on not only when you enroll and expire, but also the date that you enter from the current date towards your end of your progress. So that's a quick overview of these things so far.